Bitcoin is back, up 90% year to date, one of the best performing asset classes on the planet, but yet still, people don't know why Bitcoin's going up. They're sitting on the sidelines back in December when Bitcoin was 16,000, thinking Bitcoin was going to go down to 12,000, and here we are 3 months later and up 90%. There's so many amazing headwinds for Bitcoin right now. I'm going to dive into it. Please make sure to stay to the end. I'm going to give you where I think we're going in the month of April. But for now, let's talk about why Bitcoin is rallying so much, because there's a lot of confusion in the market. First of all, the insurance, the reason why Bitcoin was created in the first place against the current financial system. There's a lot of big economics people in the US calling that the current banking crisis in the US is just as bad as 2008. And this is the exact reason why Bitcoin was created, as a decentralized asset that you can get your money out of the current financial system that's controlled by governments and regulation and authority and power into a trusted software code that you don't need any oversight for that system to run. It's a monetary policy that's built on software, not run by people. And we have this money printing fear where as the banking crisis gets worse and worse, that the government might print more and more money, and this reduces your purchasing power on your cash. So we spoke about in a previous video that with interest rates, with the rise of inflation, you're losing money every day by holding cash, right? And we've seen even bonds lose, people buying bonds just to lose less money than holding cash, right? So there's a lot of different issues in the US and now across the world. The UK have 10% inflation. Here in Australia, it's 6%. And by holding cash, you're losing your purchasing power. In fact, if you hold $100,000, I think it's over 10 years, you're losing nearly 40% of that purchasing power at a 6% interest rate, which is insane, right? So this is another reason why Bitcoin was created. It's a deflationary system. There's less Bitcoin that's created every 4 years, and that goes into the halving. So we're starting to see the halving narrative. So as we know, every 4 years, the amount of Bitcoin that comes into circulation each day halves, and that's happening in April next year, about 12 months away. We're 3 years down, 1 year to go, and that's going to come from 6.25 BTC to 3.125 BTC reward per block. So the supply is decreasing. And even if demand stays the same for Bitcoin, if the supply decreases, very basic demand supply metrics tell us that the price is going to go up. Plus, the third thing here is institutions have remained committed. There's a quiet launch from Fidelity, which I want to talk about in the next slide, but institutions continue to come on. We're seeing MicroStrategy now own, I think, up to 0.8% of the total Bitcoin supply. These guys are just buying bulk Bitcoin because they know that by holding cash, it is you're losing that purchasing power. Bitcoin is a hedge against the monetary system, and it continues to do the same thing it's been doing for the last 13 years. It continues to grow and do the same thing, and the network is growing. More people are using it. So the NASDAQ just recently launched that they're launching their own digital asset crypto custody, which is going to bring a lot more institutions in, even though the negative sentiment to someone like NASDAQ to say they're coming into the crypto custody sector is absolutely massive. Plus Fidelity, I've spoken about on the channel before. One of my friends uses Fidelity in the US, and for those here in Australia who probably don't realize, Fidelity is like a CommBank over there, right? You can now buy Bitcoin and Ethereum inside your Fidelity account, and it's insured up to $250,000. So if you're in your CommBank on your ANZ, for example, imagine having Bitcoin and Ethereum in there that you can buy that's also insured inside the bank, which is absolutely massive. And the third thing is the Web3 partnerships continue to build. So outside of just the tokenized world and NFTs and different Web3 integrations, Nike, Adidas, Starbucks, these big brands, Reddit, continue to come into the space because they know the technology, they know how exciting it is and how much value it can add to their consumers. So this space continues to grow. The biggest thing here, though, I think, is the narrative that's going to come back as we break these psychological barriers like $30,000 is that people start to realize that it's not dead. And this is what happened back in 2018 to 2019. Everyone thought Bitcoin was dead. And as things came back through 2020, 2021, and we broke those psychological barriers and hits the mainstream media, this is when people go, oh shit, it's not dead. Why isn't it dead? What's going on? And they start to link things together, like the US banking system, like how their mortgage payments have doubled, like their rents doubled. They start to understand what's going on. And this is why I think this is going to, bring such a massive narrative coming into the halving next year. And Bitcoin's breaking through 30, 40, $50,000 psychological barriers. It's a massive moment for Bitcoin. The other thing as well is, like, unlike the early days in Bitcoin, there's just a lot more access to crypto. So, users can buy it in their Fidelity account, right? They can buy it through their banks. That's a big narrative and a big step forward that we haven't had in the past. We've got better custody solutions so people can insure their crypto, right? People are starting to learn about how to store their crypto safely. We've got the new ledger stacks, right? So people can start to understand why they need this technology better. There's more people talking about it, and they can see what's going on in the financial sector. If you're holding shares or stocks or bonds, you're losing out. So people are forced to learn about it, right? And if the price continues to go up, they're going, what the hell's going on? And if now it's a lot easier to access, I think it's a massive catalyst for Bitcoin's growth over the next few years. So look, where to from here? We've obviously had a massive run, up 90% in the last 3 months. As we put out to our members back in December 3rd, we started buying and we were probably in the 10%, right? 90% of people were saying we're going to 12,000, and we were on the other side of the narrative, right? We were saying that the fundamentals line up pretty solid. The worst is behind us. Sentiment's bad, but usually when the majority of the ships on one side, we tend to go the other way. And fortunately for us, we were able to buy a lot around that $16,000 level, and now we're sitting at 30. It's been a massive start to 2023, which has been amazing. Look, I do expect some sort of consolidation would be healthy here. I think the run that we've had continue to push over 30,000. I expect some sort of consolidation, but I think it's a great time to continue accumulating your Bitcoin and Ethereum right now. Like as we've been saying, we think that most of this year is a great time to accumulate. I've been buying every week as much as I can. And I think leading up to the halving is going to provide a great opportunity to buy BTC and ETH. I think altcoins will follow at some stage. Been saying that, like I've been saying for a long time now. I think this is the time to consolidate and really make sure you've got coins in your portfolio that you really have conviction in, and not holding 30 or 40, because I think a lot of these coins are going to go to zero, and not a lot of them are actually built off genuine value. A lot of it's just built off hope and FOMO. So hopefully that's been helpful. We are now putting out a new weekly newsletter, which I'd love for you to join. We have over 15,000 people subscribed. It's called the Weekly Shift Insights. You can subscribe with the link below. Every Friday, we send out an insight and analysis that's no BS. It's really actual and it's going to help you make better investment decisions in your crypto portfolio. You can sign up. It's absolutely free. It goes out to 15,000 people every Friday. I'd love to see you on it. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time on our YouTube channel. Thank you.